All right, so welcome back. We are going to start this entire journey by talking about feedback and inspiration. We are going to start with inspiration because I think that is one of the biggest hurdles that both new and veteran photographers fall into. We run out of motivation, we run out of inspiration, we don't know what to do. So we're starting this class with that because we want you to have the skills in order to combat this when it comes up, because it will come up. So what are we going to do? Well, where do we go for inspiration? That's a question that I hear a lot. I have no motivation. I live in a boring town. I don't know what to do. What can I even begin to take a photo of in my small Midwestern town? No offense to the Midwest. That's just the one I hear the most. So here's my biggest advice is look everywhere. It sounds really trite. It sounds really silly, but honestly, you can find inspiration from everywhere. We don't want to limit ourselves to just photography for inspiration either. We're going to talk about some resources below to help you find photography to get inspiration, but know that you can find inspiration from other visual media, from film, from music is huge, and even written works. For example, right now, what I'm reading The Secret Lives of Color. Here you can see, for those who have been around long enough, you know that I have a bit of an unhealthy obsession with color theory. So this is where I'm pulling a lot of inspiration right now. I will let you guys know when I have finished it what I thought. But written works is a great place to pull inspiration. I want you guys to stop and just ask yourself a question. Ask yourself, when's the last time that you sought out art? When's the last time you went to a museum or a gallery? I personally like museums and galleries, so I try to go as often as possible, but maybe it's been a long time. When's the last time you actively thought about art? When you're sitting and you're watching the new Squid Game, did you notice the camera angles? Did you notice the color? Did you notice the lighting? Or are you watching it and just enjoying the story? All of those things are things that can inspire you. So be aware. Don't just sit and consume. Consume and concentrate and think about what it is you're consuming and why it resonates with you or why it doesn't. Looking for inspiration is a useful tool, but you'll also find that it will just kind of hit you sometimes. My advice for that, when inspiration just kind of strikes, as they say, write it down. Write down what caused it and how it made you feel. Bring a little notebook, like a little journal that you can throw in your pocket, or obviously you have your phone, you can take it into the notes. But just be open to inspiration coming at any time. Now, as far as traditional actually seeking art, inspiration through art, go to those galleries. Your local town might not have a huge national, internationally recognized museum, but you probably have at least a small gallery that hosts local photographers or artists of any kind. Cafes often will have local artists as well. You're going to be surprised. You're going to find that there is art is actually all around. If anyone gets that reference, then you're my new best friend. But just be very aware and look around and force yourself to go. If you've never been to a museum, by all means, just go. You're going to be surprised. You're going to see new perspectives, and you're going to encounter some things that will absolutely resonate in a positive way and absolutely resonate in a negative way, and all of those things that can be turned into inspiration. As far as photography specific, there are some great resources available to you. Obviously, there are magazines and blogs, National Geographic, Magnum Photographers, the British Journal of Photography. You're going to see a list below of more. Then, obviously, we have social media. Instagram, of course, is the first one you probably think of, but Flickr, Blue Sky, you pick if that's still around, I'm not sure, Behance. And again, there's going to be other forms of media out there that will spark your interest as well. Then there's, of course, famous photographers. Whether you like them or not, every photographer of note has some reason that they're notable. So seek those out. There's a link below that is a list put together of some of the most influential, I think they say the most influential or notable photographers of the last 100 years. Take a look at that. You're going to find some people that absolutely spark something in you. And then, of course, there's also photo books. Look at some publishers, see what they're publishing right now. Taschen, of course, is a huge one. Steidl is another one that you can look for. Again, the list below will have some more for you to kind of peruse through. Then there's, of course, our online communities. Each other will absolutely inspire you. You will inspire somebody and they will inspire you. Look at the other participants' work, look at their submissions, comment on them, pick their brain a little bit to understand why it is something that they did. And maybe that will make you think about something that you could then do. There are also, there are also some other online communities that you can just kind of root through. In Reddit, of course, there's our photographs and there's our analog community I prefer better. Then we have our groups on Discord. We have ours, and then our photography has a good one as well that are worth looking into. But no matter where you encounter this inspiration or this motivation, just make a note of it. Anytime it happens, make a note of it. So that way you can kind of circle back with yourself and check in and say, okay, well, I was feeling very uninspired today, but I know that something did something for me 6 months ago. I also recommend mood boards. Mood boards are great. It sounds silly, but Pinterest is a great place to just kind of collect images that spark, that mean something to you. Bookmark websites of photographers that you're interested in and check them regularly when you're just doing your normal doom scrolling. Throw in some art doom scrolling in there as well. And then things like patterns. You're going to start seeing patterns in the things that inspire you. Maybe you notice that you really like strong color. Maybe you notice that you really like textures and big black and white images of buildings. You know, you're going to start to see some themes, and those are themes that you will be able to always fall back on when you pull them out of your toolbox. So the important thing is to remember that inspiration is very personal. There's no wrong, no right way or place to find it. You will find it where you find it. You're going to have an assignment this week that will force you to kind of do some internal searching here and look for inspiration actively. So be prepared for that. And in the next video, we're going to talk about feedback. So open-minded, everybody. We're getting into the feedback portion of it. See you then.